Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's really quite lucky I don't have any subscribers at this point because I am terrible at uploading YouTube videos, and in this video I'm going to try to not be too narcissistic and talk about myself, but given that everything that's happening in the world at the moment, this is the time to really make my channel into something that could be maybe a helpful place, particularly to younger people in the UK. I know that's a very niche market, but I'm not that young anymore, 27, but I've been through quite a few different bucket list moments in terms of my career, I guess. Not necessarily all good and not necessarily all bad, and I figured, I guess I'll get into it in the video, but this is about, wow, you can really tell I haven't scripted this, can't you? This is just off the top of the head. Finally, there's nobody in the house because for the last 3 months, I don't think I've been alone in the house for more than about 5 minutes, which probably isn't a bad thing. Yeah, these definitely aren't normal times, are they? And it would be a bit crazy to make a video now without mentioning Corona. I'm just sick of it. I'm sick of it, but I'm sticking to the rules. And it's frustrating to see that people aren't, and I have a lot of strong opinions, mainly because I guess selfishly for me, the fact that this lockdown's gone on so long, the job that I was doing is now reached a point where none of us could have anticipated where we are now. When lockdown happened in England, specifically England, because I know everybody's got different places, even in the UK, so let's go England. When lockdown happened in England, we were all joking and laughing, see you in 2 weeks sort of thing. Maybe at the worst we'll be back in June. I work in the hospitality industry. It's June. We're being made redundant. I just want to say as well, because I know this is such a sensitive time for all of us, and as a disclaimer, I think it's only right to do a disclaimer. I'm going to be talking about my experience. I'm not going to be going into too much detail, but of where and where I work and who I work for, but I think it's important to remember this is just one experience in a sea of unemployment, job uncertainty, financial uncertainty. I know everybody, every single person in every country that's been affected by COVID has their own story and something that's happened to them that's come out of it, and in no way do I want mine to be this is what happens to everybody. This is just what's happening to me and how I'm feeling, because I know even how I'm feeling is different to how all my colleagues are feeling. So I guess this is a 3-minute waffle. Let's get into it, because I feel like I'm just going around in circles here, and I don't know if you agree, but that's how it's felt for the last 3 months. So let's start by saying, what is this channel? Really undenard. If you've seen the awful videos I've done previously, there's no real structure. I don't really know what I'm doing. I don't know where I'm going to go with this channel. Again, this could be another one-off video that I just do and I need to get it off my chest, and then I don't upload anything again for a year. I guess I want it to be a place for young people to come where we can talk about all things employment in England. And I know that's not going to bring me millions of subscribers, but sometimes it feels like I've been through all these things and I've had to learn for myself, and I'm lucky I've got parents who have knowledge of business and things like that, but everything I've done and how they've started, how they've ended, what jobs I've done, I've had to learn for myself, and I've had to go through things that, looking back, I would stand up for myself. I would do that differently. I wouldn't have taken that job had I known. I should have known something was wrong, and I want to use this platform to talk about all those experiences, and this is in no way to shame companies, maybe a couple people here and there, but to help people, because even when I look back at school, I wish I had stood up to teachers. I wish I had said to them, you are wrong and this is why, and been able to really get my point across. We need our young people to be able to stand up for themselves and for each other, and I guess if I can help somebody else and offer tools, and look, here's the thing. I'm a firm believer in everybody has to make their own decisions in life. You should never tell somebody what to do, because trust me, they're going to do what they want anyway. There is no point telling your best mate not to go back to her boyfriend, because you can guarantee if she does, you'll end up looking like a dickhead when they get back together and he knows everything you've been saying about him. Trust me. Let people live their lives. But look, if I can give you some advice, if I can show you some of the warning signs, some of the great things to look out for, maybe how to up your CV, then that's the place to do it. And I think now more than ever is the time, in all this uncertainty, to be able to offer people a bit of hope and understanding of how employment in England works, and what we can do and how we can enjoy our lives. So I really hope that makes sense. That's a little bit of where we're going with this YouTube channel, hopefully. I guess you could call it an introduction, but today let me tell you where I am today. So I work in the hospitality industry. I've worked in it for about a little over a year now. It's not what I want to do with my life, that's a whole separate video, but it's where I am, and I've loved my job for the last year. I've absolutely loved it. The people, the atmosphere, the place I was working, it was just one of those jobs that when you're in your 90s you would tell your grandchildren. They'd be like, wow, you got to work there. And I've really enjoyed it, because social distancing is still a thing. We still have to stay 2 meters away. It's not viable for a lot of places in the hospitality industry to reopen, because economically it doesn't make sense, and because people won't come back, because safely we can't reopen. Where that leaves us is, with the furlough scheme winding down, we're facing unemployment. So yesterday it was announced that we've got to go through, just had an email about it actually. Yesterday we got the news that we were beginning redundancy processes. This is my first time being made redundant. I may still not be. Look, if we can all rally together and get Boris to get rid of social distancing, or tell us when he's going to get rid of it in a safe way, and accept that people can use other measures, then maybe there's hope. I'm an optimist. But look, we've got to deal with what we've got to deal with right now, and we've got to accept that there's going to be some terrible hardships. And I think, you know, going forward it's going to be very different. It's amazing though, there's so many positives. You know, I see my friends and my family doing Zoom calls, working from home, and for them there's real potential to have a new way of working where they can be flexible. They can work from home, they can work from anywhere in the world. It's a beautiful thing. And it just so happened that I fell into the sector that meant I'm potentially up for redundancy. And I guess I want to say a bit about how that feels. For 3 months we've had very little information, because nobody has. All we can go off is the daily briefings from Boris and his team, and all we can do is hope that we get some answers for us. Throughout the time I've tried to stay positive, and I think I've done pretty well. There have been certain moments where I question what is happening. During the Prime Minister's questions in the daily COVID-19 meetings, he was answering questions that were just minuscule. Yes, you appear to be asking members of the public what they would like, what the problems are, and let me address it. But when you're addressing things like, what am I going to do about people touching my ice cream with their bare hands as they serve me, and you're not answering questions like, are you going to create a separate furlough opportunity for the arts industry who have no way of reopening based on the science you are delivering and going by, it does get to you. It does get to you, and you think, I wish our government and politicians would just answer a question. I wish they would say, this was where we were when we began. We promised you that we would look after everyone if we were going to shut down businesses. We promised you we would protect the British economy. We promised you that we would put lives ahead of the economy. And I will admit, I fully bought into that. And when Boris became sick with Corona himself, I really believed in, I guess, the human spirit that would have a profound effect on him and his policies going forward. Maybe that was a bit naive. It's getting a bit political, but it becomes frustrating when you're having to wait around in the hope that things might change, and it's a pandemic, and it's just, you know, I can't even imagine, but you see other countries like New Zealand and they've beaten it. And I think my frustration is, I wish everyone in Britain would have listened to social distancing. It would have been locked down as soon as it became a real big issue, and we would have had a strict lockdown for this amount of time, and now we may have been able to reopen a lot more and a lot quicker and a lot safer. Going back to what I was saying, God, this video is all over the place, isn't it? Going back to what I was saying, I guess my point is, I wish that the government would say, this is what we said when we started. Now we're opening up the economy because the economy needs to survive. And yes, we know that means there's going to be deaths. I wish they would just be honest. I'm not saying that that's the right method. I just wish that they would say, this is what we're doing. Because it feels like we've lost the path. We had a path, we had, okay, this week, in this week this may happen. And then because of the panic surrounding the Cummings scandal, they opened up to somehow appease us all, and we're all supposed to be okay with that. This video has been all over the place, I'm aware of that. I'm going to try and edit it, and I just think I need to put it up just to get it out there. Key points. Let's reflect on key points so that it somehow makes sense if you've managed to make it through this video. I'm Sophie. I've decided where this channel is going to go and what it's going to be. This channel is going to be about employment, education. I want it to be a place where you can come and ask questions like, how do I get a job? How do I get my first job? How do I get a foot in the door somewhere where I don't have a friend or a family member who has a connection? How do I create a CV? And it's going to be a learning experience for me as well, because I'm not saying I'm some HR guru who, you know, queen of CVs. I really seek help from other people. But I'm willing to offer sources, do some research, and share my experiences. And this isn't going to be, you know, I'd like to think it's still going to be a fun channel. I know this probably hasn't been the most fun video. See where it goes, and this may be the only video I do, again, because I'm awful and I just tend to do things in the moment. That's it. Here we are. I'm beginning redundancy consultations with my company. I'm going to bring you along for the ride. Fingers crossed something happens and we get to go back, because I think the saddest part of it all is, and this will be the same for a lot of people who've lost their jobs, maybe at the beginning of COVID, maybe throughout, and maybe now, that you don't get that sort of closure, that goodbye. We had such a big team and there's people I'll probably never see again. That's sad, and we didn't get that goodbye. I think that's the hardest part, just sort of having it taken away. But all we can do is use these things as opportunities, and I also think that there's always room for improvement in the employment system, in the businesses we work for and who we choose to work for. And I just really hope that we can get through this together, and if I can give you a bit of reassurance that no matter what you're going through in terms of employment right now, if you're thriving because you're selling hand sanitizer, or if you are somebody who's completely out of work and you don't know when your industry will reopen, we're all in it together. It's gonna be okay, and these things are always temporary, trust me. When you start hearing my stories, you're gonna realise these things are temporary and they pass, and you can get through anything, and we're all gonna be okay. And that was my TED talk of 2 minutes. You're welcome. And yeah, I just really hope that you don't feel alone, and if you do feel like that, reach out to me. I promise I'll be a place of confidence, and if I can help I will, and if I can't, I'll direct you to people who can. So stick with me. I promise that the next videos will have a little more focus and structure, and bring on the rest of 2020. It has to get better. It has to. Please, come on 2020. Turn it around for Christmas. Let's have a beautiful Christmas. Okay. Bye guys, I'll see you in my next video. I'm also going to get better at saying goodbye and hello, because I really find it awkward.